the second half, we go into halftime. You look at they put up 40, 41 points, I think, in a half, and I tell these guys each and every night that it's going to be a struggle to get uncontested looks, to get efficient offense in this league, because guys are so bought in defensively. And I think what K-State did really in the second half is they even turned up the pressure a little more defensively on us, and consequently it showed in every statistical category in that second half. And you look at second straight game that we're giving up 50+% from the field, and it's not cutting it. And a lot of that's on me. I'll take blame for it, but I told those guys in the locker room that that's how you're going to win games. It's got to be a complete buy-in from everybody to figure out how we, make it a struggle for other teams to guard or to score.
Questions? So, Josh, you've answered it many times, but, defense rebounding obviously continues to be an issue. You said from the beginning you knew that could be a problem. So, any way to fix it? How do you adjust when you're just continuing to struggle in those areas?
And some of it, with the hard hedges and the traps that we were, the game plan going in, we just didn't have the right rotations and the right closeouts and the right tags on the backside. I thought our traps were good early, and I thought it could be effective, but it certainly, we didn't have the right rotations on the backside to do that. And sometimes when you put your bigs out there, and I say bigs, our four guys playing the five, or playing out of position, it makes it hard for them to shore up the glass.
Josh, it looked like you had trouble communicating on defense. Maybe more than anything else, not finding people and not running into screens and the like. So, how did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it the same way. There was a lot of communication errors out there. Guys running into handoffs. Guys getting back cut, and that's something that's easy to point at and say we need to correct that. But a lot of that stuff is built in the summer, and you keep on grinding that thing, as you go and build into the practice season. So we're certainly behind on all that, and we haven't been the same team all year. Early in the season we were doing everything we could to keep Jesse out of foul trouble, and we had no bench, and playing a different style of defense to make up for those inefficiencies. And now we got the new guys in and close to a full roster without a five-man, and now we're trying to play a little differently, and it's just not clicking yet defensively.
In some ways, that equates into the 50% shooting.
K-State hadn't seen a lot of zone, but they do have some good shooters on the floor. And the one time I did go zone out of a timeout, they got that lob, so I didn't see that as something I wanted to go back to.
Coach, you've obviously, you mentioned a few times Cook's playing out of position. Pat's obviously not, 6'11". Defending the paint, just how much of a struggle is it? Obviously, K-State got in there today, Houston the other day, and that's kind of what Big 12 teams do. They want to get it in there.
Yeah, they're going to force their will down low. I think if you go back to the first 9 games, what did I do? I continued to, force the issue down low with Jesse,
right,
because that was my advantage. We were lacked depth, but if you can get an easy bucket and you can force it down low, I force it down low and play inside out. And we don't really have the back-to-basket bigs that you can isolate down there and score. And we don't. I always worried, and that was a main concern this summer, trying to find a backup five, and never did. it's going to be. It's even harder when you lose your backup five or your 5-man, the only 5-man you have out on the floor.
If it, I don't want to say, if you can't slow down, you can't stop it, from your point of advantage, does it almost seem like you're just waiting for it, waiting for that other team to, to start taking advantage of it? I mean, is it feel like that at all? I mean,
I didn't feel like they just pounded it down low on us. I mean, they took advantage of our ball screen coverage more than we took advantage of their ball screen coverage. And like I said, our rotations and our tags weren't there with the way we were playing. And we repped it for 2 days and thought it looked really good in practice, and thought we could hang our hat on that and kind of change things up. And but yeah, you look at the box score. I mean, Kaluma was absolutely fantastic. He was plus 24, 17 points, 4 for 6 from 3. And he's basically playing at the 3. So he was had a great game, and credit to them. I mean, they seem very connected, and they have a great they have a great culture building after year 2, and they got to play with a lot of enthusiasm and play very connected, and so they came in here and ready to win, and they really bought in that second half, and on the defensive end it really changed the game.
Some changes to your starting lineup, just trying to tweak things, or in what'd you see out of that?
There's no secret that Quinn was struggling to make shots, and I thought maybe with him with a second line or coming off the bench, you might give him a spark with a different group of guys out on the floor at the same time, and then just Pat he gave us 2 really solid games with his efforts in the last 2 games. So just trying to figure out a combination with rotations that is going to be most effective for us.
Josh, with your offensive sets, it seems like they're okay early, first part of the possession, but they're tending to break down a lot. You're having to end up with either ball screen, one-on-one stuff. Is that what you've seen in your analysis, and is the key, like one of the things that you mentioned after the Houston game, that the ball's sticking too much or too dependent on the guards creating?
Well, I mean, the short rolls is where we really missed tonight, with the way they were playing their ball screens. We should have had short rolls and activity at the rim all night, but we couldn't deliver that pass. Or the guys weren't in a position to catch it. They weren't coming back to the ball. But we got to look at some other things offensively that we can, put guys in different scenarios and positions. So I told them in there, I'll take certainly take a lot of the blame, and we'll go back to the drawing board and look at some different ways that we can attack offensively. So, they are doing a good job of keying on things, but, some of it is lack of execution too, and carryover. So there's everybody takes fault. We're all grown men in that locker room, and we're all trying to figure it out, and we're staying together, and we can all do things better to figure this thing out.
Coach, kind of looking for your opinion here. How much, when you kind of think about it, how much easy stuff is it to fix? I'm thinking there wasn't very many turnovers, but some of them, you're probably not going to like when ball screens that didn't really get screened and turns into a double team. That kind. I mean, that's kind of fundamental kind of stuff that is frustrating, but it's also easy to fix, isn't it?
I mean, on paper it is, in practice and those things. It's just a lot of it, a carryover and getting everybody on the same page in the game. So I've felt, many times, coming out of practice scenarios, we're in a very good position to attack this or that or the other, and sometimes it just isn't carried over to the game. So I'll take a lot of fault in that.
With Noah, seems like since he's come back, he's gotten into some early foul trouble. Tonight he was trying to plead his case for you to leave him in there, and then noticed you guys kind of shared an embrace on the sideline. What did you tell him, and then what's the message with him keeping him on the court as long as possible?
No, just trying to keep their head on straight. You know, the guys get frustrated. They want to win. You know, Noah, I think what teams are doing with him, with his size, they're bumping him off the ball, using their size and strength against him. So Noah needs space to operate in so many ways. And several times when we did have plays break down and he had the ball, we didn't have the right spacing for him to operate correctly. But, you know, we're all frustrated. We're all frustrated, you know, top to bottom. So.
Raekwon said something that was kind of interesting, that in the sense that, you know, he said, hey, you know, this team, we've got till the Big 12 tournament to sort of get things corrected and chemistry and get it rolling. I mean, that's one way of thinking, but is that what you want the guys to?
I think
mean,
what he's just saying is we want to be playing. We certainly want to be playing our best basketball right now. We're not. I guess if we stay together and we continue to work this thing out, hopefully we're playing our best basketball in March. That's the goal of every team, to play their best basketball and continue to get better and better and better. But we're like that shooter right now in a slump. We just need to see one go in, you know, and build some confidence, because, you know, that's we've had a couple hard losses that didn't go our way that probably would have went a long way with this team.
Coach, thank you.